Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you can hear me fine. It's 3 o'clock. It's Saturday with no football. We're talking about Blackpool. Got some comments in there. It's the first time I'm going to try a live phone in, see how it goes. There's lots of worry. There's lots of arguments on message boards. You've all got different opinions. I'll just go to the comments quickly. You can chat to me in the comments, obviously, and also, you'll be able to phone in as well. Let's have a look at the comments that we got here. Hello to Blackpool FC Vlogs. Hi, Eugene McGee says, I think Blackpool need more new players in the January transfer window, and Happy New Year for tonight. Happy New Year to you as well, Eugene. And yes, we do need more players. I think that's an absolute given. Nobby Roberts says, Josh Bowler back ASAP. I keep hearing rumours about it. I've heard it's a done deal from some people, but I'm not convinced. He's on a lot of money. Whether Forest will allow him to come back, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on it. Ben Harmon says a win would be nice. Definitely need an attacking centre mid. I agree with you there. Definitely something. Certainly one who can take free kicks and dead ball situations would be great. But we need that sort of player that can drive the ball forward and be able to bring in these young lads. And I thought Patino played particularly well when he was with Bridcut. Michael Haig says, come on, Lee, let's get the show started. Blimey, Michael. Okay, we've got it started. Santino Strignano says, any Blackpool supporter got a supporter number I could borrow, please? If not, going tomorrow. Thanks if anyone can. Is that a ticket? A supporter number? Oh, maybe he needs a supporter number to get a ticket. Not sure whether we will or won't, to be honest. Lucas Turner says, I was in the Sheffield United vlog, played decent. Defo need a new centre. Oh, yes, you were, of course, at the start of it. Defo need a new centre defensive midfielder. Eugene McGeever, Happy New Year for tonight. Happy New Year, Eugene. Paul Lawton says he only lasts 45 minutes, then I go home. W&G fan says, we just need a new manager. George Dubb says, a new centre-back, Owen Dale and Bez Labala. Okay, well, I think Bez Labala, I've heard he's back at the club. He did do quite well pre-season, didn't he? But is he the answer? Owen Dale, is he the answer? Has he been doing that well? Let me know where. I know he's been out on loan. I haven't really followed it. Lucas Turner also wants a new manager as well. Appleton out. Are you Appleton out or are you Appleton in? I mean, obviously, if you're saying Appleton out, who do you want to bring in? Who is it you would like to see take over Appleton? I keep hearing Dobby being mentioned. Is he the answer? Really? Dobby? Would you risk Dobby not having managed anybody? I find that quite an odd one, to be honest. Ryan Dunbar's here. I'll do Ryan. Jamie Wotton's here. I'm a Sheffield United fan. Well, things are going well for you, Jamie. Not so good for us. I hope you thought, we gave you a game on the other night. I thought we were a bit unlucky that we couldn't get an equaliser, but, you seem to have us in your pocket, really, to be honest. You probably guys were thinking you wouldn't score if we played until midnight, but you were very quiet second half. There wasn't a peep out of Sheffield United, so you were under pressure. Eugene McGee says, get your score prediction for the Blackpool versus Sunderland game tomorrow afternoon. Blackpool 3-1 Sunderland. Don't know on that one, Eugene. I'm not feeling that. Andrew Morrison says, I hope Blackpool stay up from a Sheffield Wednesday fan. Thank you very much, Andrew. I hope we stay up, and I think you're going up. So the good thing is, if we do stay up, we won't have to play you again next year, which would be quite good. Adam Davies says, highly, I hope Blackburn and Blackpool get more players. Yeah, Blackburn have gone completely off the boil, haven't they? Lucas Turner says, Lee, do you reckon we will stay up this season? I reckon if we don't do something drastic, and I mean really drastic, in January and really manage to get some players in that make a difference, I think we're in big trouble. I'm not 100% sure getting rid of Appleton right now is the right move, even though I'm not liking him quite as much as I was a few a few months ago. But I did say in the summer that if it had been me, as the multimillionaire owning the club, and Michael Appleton had have come to me, had applied for the job, I wouldn't have even interviewed him. I would have known right from the start, and I said this at the start of the season as well. It's not something with hindsight, but it was never going to be 100% popular appointment. And I think when you're appointing a new manager, it's got to be something that's like Critch, where even then there was a little bit of discontent about Critch because he'd never done anything, but the majority were kind of behind him, from the start, give him a chance. Appleton was up against it from the very moment he was mentioned. There were so many people were not forgiving him for leaving us. And I think when you do that, when you bring somebody back who's going to divide opinion between the fans, you just set yourself up for a fall. And I just wouldn't have entertained him. He wouldn't have even got in the door to see me, to be honest. I'd have just said, thanks a lot, Michael, but you've been here before, and I'm really looking for somebody a bit more like Critchley, who we've had. Who's we tried a past manager before with Simon Grace, and it didn't work out. I don't really want to go down that road, and I think if they'd have done that, I think that would have been great. However, when he came, I quite liked him. I liked what he was saying. I didn't have anything bad against him, and I wished him really well. I don't think the board helped him in any way. I think when you don't bring any players in, and we needed players, we're all saying in the summer, the positions we needed. Everybody was saying we need a striker, we need a really good centre midfielder who can dominate the play. We need a centre half really with experience like Keogh, but somebody a bit younger and not quite so injury prone. Everybody kind of knew that those were positions that we definitely needed. I think we needed more. I think we needed a left back. I think a few positions. I think we could have strengthened with 5 or 6 players, and we brought Dom Thompson, and that was it. Then we go and lose Bowler, and the trouble is when you don't strengthen the team, you don't bring players in, and you get rid of your good players, and you lose Keogh, and Bowler goes on transfer deadline day, and you play Bezla through the pre-season and then just don't bother with him, and all the things he did in the pre-season really didn't make any sense, because they got rid of quite a few of the players that were they were testing out, got rid of him. And I think when you do that, you are setting yourself up for disasters, and football will bite you on the arse if you're not prepared. And we weren't prepared, and we haven't strengthened, and the injury list has been unbelievable, and that comes because we're desperate for players. We haven't got enough players. We haven't got enough quality in the squad. The injuries are really affecting us, and I think that's been the problem. I think the board really let him down. People have said to me that they should have spent money on the squad and not been concentrating on the training ground and the ground and everything else. But for me, when Simon Sadler took over the club, he knew that the training ground was an issue. He knew that the stadium wasn't great, and he knew about the shelf life of the East Stand and everything. He knew all that, and he knew that had to be done. So he had to have a plan in place to do all that, but he also had to concentrate on the football side of it as well. It wasn't one or the other, it was both, all of it. Everything had to be done. He had to commit to doing the training ground, because that's been an issue for so long. He had to commit to doing the East Stand, because it has to be done, and he had to commit to strengthening the team if he wants to stay up and keep this club going forward. And it's all right doing all the sponsorship deals and all the things he've done, but if we go down in this division, all the money that he can get from these deals and the sponsorships and the boxes and the lounges and the season tickets, it's all just going to go down. And he's just done it wrong for me. And the announcement that they made, whether it was right or wrong, and it came from the wrong place, but to say that we're doing all this, we're doing the training ground, we're putting 20 million in this and blah 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 in this, but we haven't got the money to strengthen the squad, we haven't got a lot of money for the team, was warning signs straight away. Paul Horton says Appleton out, too late for Rob Edwards. Don't know. Hugh McGreever thinks he won't be. It's never going to be Sean Dyche. He won't want to come here. We couldn't afford him. End of. Not going to happen. Liam Richardson, was he doing great at Wigan? They got rid of him. We don't know why. I mean, they offered him a new contract, then got rid of him. There's something, I don't know, but I don't know. Jamie Wotton said he was there and he thought we were the better team. Yeah, but, you know, we didn't take our chances and you did. Yes, Dobby the Elf. Is that who you mean? Well, that's what people are saying. It keeps coming up as the next manager for Blackpool. I just don't think that's a good... I don't think it's a good thing. Hello, Gary Cronshaw. He says, hello, Lee, Charles and Jane. Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year to all you as well. And let's hope that 2023 is better. I'm fearing tomorrow. We can talk about that as well. I'm glad I heard the news that Ellis Sims has gone back to Everton because... Honestly, I was at Sunderland and we were waiting outside and he was signing autographs right stood by me, and I tell you, he's a giant. Honestly, he looked as fit as a butcher's dog even though he was injured, and I just thought I wouldn't like to be defending against him. He looked, honestly, his hands were like buckets, his feet were, I don't know, size 16. He's just a massive guy, and I thought, oh God, he's just what we need. And I think I just wish we'd have got him. I really do. Yes, Dice, some donuts in this chat. Yeah, he's not going to come here. There's no chance. Gary Bowyer would be a decent replacement if we're going to pay her. Oh, I don't know, Alex. I don't know. He did do a good job down in League Two, but is he Championship manager? I don't know. Again, I don't really want a manager that's been here before. I don't really... Even though he did a great job getting us out of the League Two. True Reddy's here. Hello, Haley. Feel your pain at the moment, especially after last season, where that finish thought Blackpool could have built on that position this season. Yeah, but well, yeah. I thought, to be honest with you, that we were good enough. We just needed strengthening. And in the summer, that's what I thought. You know, we just need 4 or 5 new signings. We don't have to go mental, bringing in 10 or 12 or whatever. We just some key signings, some good quality. Bringing some good quality in, and we didn't do it, and we've lost arguably 2 of our best players. One was Keogh, who was defence. He was a Trojan in defence, but the problem with Keogh was he was a bit of a sick note, and he was injured quite a few times. But when he played, he was brilliant. So I wanted a Keogh, but fitter and younger, with a little bit more pace, but with that sort of nous to shepherd these lads around. And of course, we lost Bowler, who to Forest to go to Greece, which just is so upsetting. Jamie Wotton says Blackpool are going to stay up. Well, I hope they do. I hope you're right. Yeah, we need a new centre-back. We do, absolutely. Absolutely. Have I seen Critz's last game? No, I haven't. Blackpool FC Fan TV says Dean Smith would be a good shout as an experienced manager and will keep us up despite being sacked at Norwich. Yeah, that is a good signing. But what would he have been on wages-wise at Norwich? Could we even tempt him with what we pay? Because we do pay the lowest, one of the lowest paying teams in this division. I mean, it's an unfair division. I always think this. There's so many teams, parachute payments, and bigger clubs than us, and it's a tough one. But we all know, that Blackpool got into the Premier League out of this division, and you need that manager who believes. I think when Holloway came in, he immediately was talking about promotion. He was talking to the players about promotion. He wasn't talking about little Blackpool. He was talking about he had this fantastic way of playing that was just going to knock the socks off everybody, and he had a vision and a way to get us in the Premier League, and everybody bought into him, and everybody was keen. To all the players bought in to Holloway. They were all keen on, they even, were talked into a £5 million bonus between themselves rather than having bonuses while they were playing. So he talked a good. I think Appleton's that other way around, and he's that with little Blackpool, and I don't want to wear that. I'm sure you don't want to wear that either. What is my opinion on Appleton not clapping the fans at Hull and Cardiff? Well, two ways about it. I think really a manager should acknowledge the fans, but all he's getting is dog's abuse off the fans, and they're singing sacked in the morning to him and all that sort of stuff. I don't know if I was manager and fans were doing that to me. I don't know if I'd come over and clap you, to be honest, even though I know it's to clap the fact we've come and everything, but you know, he's not in a happy place with us, and we're not in a happy place with him. We're not singing Appleton's Tangerine Army or anything. He's just getting dog's abuse all the time. So if he didn't, I can understand why. Michael says, cheer up, a new year is just around the corner and Blackpool can turn the tide. Up the mighty Blades. I hope you're right, Michael. You're more optimistic than many of us are at the moment. Adrian Morley says, how do I dial in for a chat? I will put a link up on the screen soon. I've got a couple of people who already have the telephone number, and I'm going to try it out in a minute, so we'll just try and make sure it all works. So just let me just get through the chat, and then we'll get into the calls. Hello, Gary. Happy New Year to you too. True Red said Appleton hasn't been back with transfers by the board, and when that usually happens, the board doesn't believe the manager is recruiting the right players. It leads to disaster. And it is. We're second off the bottom. General West has banned the mighty Pool from the chat. He's a wind-up merchant. Well, I've got moderators in. You can do. Cody Arkwright says, we have a really good team and could have done really well this year, but because of Appleton's tactics, he's let us down. So let's hope we can get him out. Well, are these tactics, or is he just hamstrung with the actual players available that he's got? Because he's playing some players in positions that you wouldn't normally. And I'm sure he wouldn't be playing Jerry Yates in the position that he is, but it is a worry, isn't it? General West said we should have gone for Beale. We have more pull than Rangers, says General West. Completely left field from Ryan Dunbar. Well, you're going to ring in soon, but I can't believe I'm saying this considering the rat he is to me. Steven Gerrard. Would we want Steven Gerrard with Critch back as his number 2? Oh, I don't know. Lewis is a Sunderland fan. Hello, Lee, from a Sunderland fan. Losing Sims is a massive blow. That means we must get Ross Stewart under a new contract. Yes, it is a massive blow. He's an amazing player, and we're very happy that you've lost him, really, because we didn't want to play against him yesterday. And we've been really upset about you actually taking our players and going after everybody that we go after and beating us to them all the time. It's quite upsetting. We were really after Ellis Sims, and because Blackpool were after him, Sunderland come in for him. We're after Dan Bollard, and because Blackpool are after him, Sunderland come after him. We wanted Embo. You kept him even though you didn't want him at the time. It's just Sunderland just have been annoying us for quite a while. Eugene McGeever now says Blackpool should get Steven Gerrard. I don't know. Should we? Does he do? I don't know. WG fans are shocking that Critchley repeated the same result with Luton beating QPR 3-0. Reminds me of last year's match with, you know, I have said it before, there was a lot about Critch that he's not good. You know, he was all right. But a lot of it, you know, I was sad. I loved him, but in many ways, I wasn't bothered that he left because there's quite a lot of things that annoyed me about him. South Shore Sea says we could do with a central midfielder like Wintle. Yeah, he played really well. We probably picked up most points during his loan spell. Yeah, he was a good player, wasn't he? But why is it not happening for Cardiff? I don't know. View from the wing. I don't believe Matt Appleton is a terrible manager, but he is the wrong manager for us. Blackpool fans demand a manager that's passionate and inspirational, aspirational. Yes, exactly. We do. I totally agree with you. What about Chris Wilder as a replacement manager? I don't know. What do you guys think about Chris Wilder as a replacement manager? Let me just have a quick look on Facebook to see if there's anything there. No, there's not. Right. I know I've got Thomas is waiting to phone in. So Thomas, if you want to phone in, you can now. We'll try it out, see if it works. So if Thomas, if you are in the stream, please call in. View from the Wing says, on Simon Sadler, I can only say this. We have promises of a new stand and training ground, all while suspending levels of the squad don't seem to exceed Oyston levels of spending. It's suspicious. Well, you know, conspiracy theorists would say that. I mean, yes, it is only promises. It's not happened yet. The Oystons promised a new training ground many, many times, didn't they? They were doing something down in Lytham and doing all sorts of stuff. And it's all right saying you're going to do it, but we've got to see it being done, haven't we? And I think there is a desire to get it done. I hope he is, not conning us on that. I know you're waiting, Ryan. If Thomas doesn't phone in, maybe you want to try it then. We'll go with you, Ryan. If you want to call in, let's see if this works. Oh, it's a new thing. If it works, we may do it more often. Obviously, just hopefully, if you ring in, you're sensible. You've got some good things to say. So let's see if Ryan can call in. So call in, Ryan, if you want to do. Carrie Cruncher says Blackburn Rovers need to win, and Blackpool need to win. Yes, couldn't agree with you more. So the questions that I have really for today is if you are... Oh, okay. Phone call coming in. Let's see if this works. Hello.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, we can hear you nice and clear. So it's Ryan. This is Ryan Dunbar. Hi, Ryan. So what are your thoughts on it all at the moment? Obviously, you're Rangers and you're also Blackpool. You follow two clubs. What do we need to do? Are you Appleton in or out? And who would you like to see coming in? And are there any little gems in Scotland that look a little bit like Charlie Adam that may help us?
Well, genuinely, I'm Appleton out.
You're Appleton out? Yeah.
Have been for a long time.
Right.
And having seen what I've seen over the last couple of days on social media, it just kind of makes me think, what? Because we have not had we have not had a win in the league for 2 months straight now. Yeah.
I mean, you've got to remember that the part of it, there was a World Cup break as well in that 2 months, so it's not been exactly 2 months.
Of course,
But
yeah, you take that out of the equation, and then I can't remember who the manager was at that point, but including the other night there, we have not had a midweek win since 2019. That's nearly 4 years.
Yeah,
going on 4 years now.
Yeah,
that to me is outstanding. But then again, you've got to remember we've got COVID in between that.
Yeah.
We've got the virus in between that. But to back to your other question of any sort of midfield, boxy-box games that we've got, we've got a couple of midfielders now at Rangers. Young lads.
Yeah.
Especially a young lad, Alex Lowry. Fantastic player. Fantastic central midfielder. He is. I think he would slow into that position right away. He's younger than Patino. He's younger than Patino.
Better than Patino, you'd say?
No, he's younger than Patino.
He's younger than Patino. Do you think, though, Ryan, that's what... Actually, I think we need experience in that midfield. I don't think we need another young kid. And I think when Bridcut came in for the couple of games that we saw him play, I think he transformed Patino. And
if you're talking having somebody in an experienced head, an experienced midfielder. All right, he's injured now to the end of the season. But and fingers crossed he doesn't. But if he does hang up his boots,
yeah.
If he doesn't hang up his boots at the end of the season, Stevie Davis.
Stevie Davis. Yeah. I think you're right, Ryan. I think you're totally right. I totally agree with you. I think the failure to get a centre midfielder in, we're chasing the, Brannigan from Oxford for 3 transfer windows and didn't get him over the line. And I think I just can't believe that he was the only one, the only midfielder in the country that was any good, that could have done a job.
If you're wanting somebody younger than Stevie Davis,
yeah,
a Scotty Arfield and a Glenn Kamara, somebody of that age group,
right,
could be in there next season.
Okay, I agree with you. I agree with you, Ryan, on that. What about centre halves? Do you think we losing Keogh and not replacing him with some sort of quality?
I said this to my dad the other day. You know my dad. My dad. Doesn't follow Blackpool as closely as he, but and I said to my dad, I seen Marvin the other night there, and to me he just looked a wee bit clueless. And as I said to my dad, it's because when he had Keogh there, Marv was unplayable at times.
Yeah.
But then he loses Keogh, and all of a sudden. Yeah. So I do believe we need an experienced head.
Yeah.
There.
Absolutely. And finally, are you Appleton in or out? And if you are out, who should we get in?
I said this on Twitter. I am Appleton out.
Yeah.
And if I'm being honest,
I think you're saying Stevie Gerrard, are you, in the comments? Is
right,
that?
If I'm being honest, right now,
yeah.
If you gave me a replacement, I'd rather have one of the Appleton sisters from Allside at this point.
Right. Okay.
Because
was your Stephen Gerrard comment tongue in cheek, or do you think he could do a job?
No, not necessarily, because I do genuinely think. But then again, if you look at the job he done at Aston Villa,
not very good.
Yeah, but then again, that was a Premier League side.
Yeah, of course.
Championship side.
But it doesn't really matter whether he didn't do it in the Premier League. It's no excuse because he had a Premier League team. If you're good enough, and they were a good enough team, he could have done better. I'm not sure about Gerrard, even though he did well at Rangers. But thanks a lot, Ryan. You've proved the whole thing works. I can take a phone call in. I'm going to move on because I've got other people to call in, and I've got quite a lot of comments as well. So thanks for being a moderator and everything else. Thank you. Cheers, Ryan.
Cheers.
Oh, there we are. That worked fine, didn't it? Let's just go back to the chat quickly. Where did you get that wallpaper from? I have a patch in our hallway needs fixing, and I can't find that pattern anywhere. No, neither can I. It was something that I painted over. It was already here from my mum and dad, so I don't know where you could get the wallpaper from, to be honest. Walk with me, Tom Herdman says, hope you get relegation. We're a rubbish ream. Well, a rubbish ream. I think that should say rubbish team. But yes, thank you very much for that. Awful. He's a Preston fan. We are better. Well, the league doesn't lie. You are at the moment better. Whether I want to be a Preston supporter, though, not really. Chris Lomas is here. Hello, Chris. Steve Melrose says, Appleton's strategy appears to be just to keep doing the same thing and hope for a bit of luck. Can he do anything else, though? What would you change? What could he do differently at the moment? Because he seems to be a bit hamstrung with what he can actually play. I'm not sure about putting Beasley on the wing either. I wish he'd just play wingers on the wing. I'm glad to see Poveda getting a game now. I'm glad they've sorted that out with him because I think he's a talent, and I think but he's one of those again that can lose the ball, and he's quite lightweight, but he is exciting when he's on the ball. He does play exciting football. Cody Arkwright says, if Critchley didn't leave us, where do you think we'd be in the league? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think we'd be doing better than we are now, to be honest. And I think the fans wouldn't be divided as they are. And although there was division over Critch, let's be honest, they weren't. Not everybody was happy. The forums were not entirely happy about Critch and Tinkerman and all the rest of it. They used to get called. So I don't know. It depends on how well we were doing. Would we have been divided sticking with him? I don't know. The truth is, we couldn't be doing much worse. Pervader is class. I agree with you. Right, I'm going to put the telephone link in because I know where Thomas is, so I'm going to get another caller in. I'm going to put it up on screen. So it's a kind of a first come, first serve situation. So I'm going to put it on for just a few seconds so you can all see the number to phone in, and it's coming on now. There we go. Back to the chat. Steve Merrill says the players have the ability and the desire. What they need is a coach who will select the best team, play appropriate tactics, and make good use of substitutions. Couldn't agree more. Not one whose ego is so big he won't take advice or criticism. We can't get any worse. No, we can't. Sam Thompson says a new centre-back and strong mobile centre-forward, and I think we will be fine. 2 quality players will make a difference. Absolutely would, especially if you got Bowler back as well. That would be great, wouldn't it? Eugene says Blackpool should go after Marcelo Bielsa, the ex-Leeds man. Right, I'm getting a phone in. Let's see who this is. Hopefully it's a decent one. Hello.
Hi, Lee. It's Steve. You okay?
Hi, Steve. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
What?
There was a couple of things that I wanted to discuss.
Okay.
I said earlier in the chat about about the things with Simon Sadler and the promises of the training ground and everything else. It rings back to the late 80s when Owen took over the club, and it was that table with the big football stadium on it that we were going to get built out at Windyke.
Yes,
Park.
Indeed.
But I think there's other things that need raising as well. We've got so many players out on loan at the moment and an injury-ravaged squad.
Yeah.
I'm wondering why we're not calling or recalling some of those players back parent club for cover. Owen Dale's doing particularly well at Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Young Labala was banging some goals in for us.
I think he's come back. I think I've heard he's back.
Oh, Labala's back, is he?
I think he is. Yeah, I think he is. I've read on a view from the tower this morning that he's back, and obviously, as it always does on a view from the tower, it was received well by some people, not so well by others. So I don't know, but he did well in pre-season, didn't he, Labala? He seemed to be the one man that was capable of doing things, and then we get rid of him straight away. But yes, I do agree with you on that one.
Yeah, he had something different in the fact that, I think most of his goals in pre-season, if I remember rightly, came from outside the 18-yard box.
Yeah.
So a banging foot on him.
Yeah, he definitely had something about him. I was quite surprised in pre-season at how good he was. But yeah, I agree with you, bringing some of these players out on loan when we're desperate. For other clubs would recall players, wouldn't they, if they were in
yeah, absolutely.
in the position we're in.
And considering Reece James seemed to do a job for us under Critch last season, coming in as a bit part player as cover at the back, we're so hamstrung at the back at the moment.
Yeah.
Why is Reece James remaining?
I don't know. Did you go last season to Millwall away, where Connolly got sent off, and they brought Reece James on to cover Connolly because he's a left back, isn't he? But they put him over on the right back at Millwall, and he had the game of his life. He was amazing in that game, and I thought, wow, we've got ourselves a really good player here. We should be playing this lad more often. And he never really got a look in. And we know quite a lot of people from Donny Rovers, and they were all really
season, though.
Yeah, they were. They couldn't believe that he hadn't done well because they loved him there. He was one of their favourite players. So. Yeah, he's another one. Yeah, quite surprising.
And we seem to have some talent in the development squad as well, because Celtic fans were up in arms about letting that young kid go to us at the beginning of the season. Is it Poffit or something like that?
Yes.
I can't remember his name. Who'd played in Europe for Celtic, and he doesn't seem to be able to get a look in as an attacking. It just seems a little bit odd.
We just never do, though, do we?
We
never bring kids through, do we? It's like a thing, isn't it? I don't remember us ever. Well, apart from ones that we seem to bring in. But when was the last kid that came through? It would be Ian Wright, wouldn't it? Probably Chris Packett would be the last one that we.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, you look at the manager situation at the moment. Yeah, I'm Appleton out, and
right, okay.
I was never a big fan of him coming back to the club under the circumstances that he left in the first place.
Yeah,
there's a big disengagement between him and the fans, which is starting to create a really toxic situation inside the stadium.
It is, isn't it?
It's not what we want, because we had that under the Oystons, and we don't want a frictious fan base again.
Well, I totally agree with you. And I said at the start of the season that as a Blackpool fan, if I'd have been a Blackpool fan owning Blackpool Football Club, I wouldn't have even given him an interview, just because I knew that it wasn't going to go down well. And the one thing you don't want to be doing is bringing a manager in before you've even kicked a ball that half the fan base don't like. You really, you're creating a real toxic situation for yourself that you could really do with avoiding. And I couldn't believe they hadn't learned the lesson from Simon Grayson, who they brought back, who was a disaster. So why would they do it again? It's never made.
On all levels, it makes no sense, because it's a bad business decision from Sadler. Because I'm sure, like me and my dad, there's 5 of us that are season ticket holders.
Yeah.
And my dad was always unsure whether to buy a season ticket or not because of Appleton being there, because he didn't like him.
Yeah.
He said if we get relegated next season and Appleton's in charge, he won't buy a season ticket. If it's anybody else, he will. To give a 4-year contract is just insane.
Yeah, why? Why are we doing that?
I don't know, because then it costs a small fortune to get rid of him.
I actually remember, with regards to these long contracts, that when we first started doing it, everybody was like, oh my God, we're a proper football club. We're not signing people on a 1-year rolling contract, and we're not paying people £70 a week in the summer and all the sort of stuff we got used to with the Oystons. So I was kind of seeing, we're making all this intention and getting players on long contracts. But then all I've seen is players on long contracts, long contractedly on the sick, injured, all just getting money for nothing. And I'm starting to think maybe the Oystons had it right with the short 1 year plus one.
I think there's a big difference between player contracts and manager contracts. Player contracts, if they come in and they're on a 3-year contract and they don't do particularly well for us, you can cover some of the costs by loaning them out to other clubs.
Sure.
If you get a manager in on a 4-year contract, you can't send that manager elsewhere. You're stuck. You're lumbered with that 4-year contract.
You'd like to
and then
do
it
that.
costs you a fortune to get rid of him.
Yeah.
But touch on another point you just said there, our injury worries.
Yeah.
Why do we go into an international break thinking, okay, he's had bad luck with injuries, and I think some people are giving him the benefit of the doubt then.
Yeah.
Thinking when we get back, we're going to have some players recovered and we get back on.
Yeah.
But then we come back and we've got more players out than when we left. There must be something fundamentally wrong in training.
Yeah.
For so many players to be picking up so many injuries.
Yeah. Is it Squiresgate the factor in that? Is it our training ground is a nightmare in Tasmania?
No, it can't be that, because we've had that training ground for years, and I can't remember the last time I've seen a Blackpool team ravaged with so many injuries.
Yeah, compounded with sendings off as well, which is...
I mean, disciplinary is just awful at the moment.
Jane seems to remember, and I don't really remember it as that under Paul Ince we were getting lots of sendings off as well under him. I don't remember it quite as vividly as Jane does, but she says it's the worst since Paul Ince. So what's that down to? Because Critch would not many.
I think it's just poor. It seems to be at the moment we have no composure when we're on the ball. And you look at the incident with Jordan Thornley at Hull. If players are thinking about what they're doing, Thornley doesn't try and pull down the player at Hull. You think about it, we're on top of the game, we're giving Hull a good game. Fair enough, if he gets through and scores, it's not the end of the world. We've still got 11 men on the pitch.
Exactly, that's what I thought.
He decides ultimately to try and pull the player down, not once near the halfway line, but twice, where he eventually gets sent off for it.
It was suicidal, wasn't it?
Yeah, you look at players like Lavery, who I think he's an excellent talent, but his composure and his thinking on the ball doesn't seem to be there. It
No.
just seems to be press and attack as much as you possibly can, which
Yeah.
they do for 15 minutes of the game, and then the last 15 minutes of the game, the bits in between are all crap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think it's just a lack of leadership and planning from the manager to really, really think about the game. And you look at what we did under Holloway, everything was thought about, everything was methodical.
Yeah.
The players really knew what they were doing. I think that's really poor leadership from the manager.
Well, yeah, I mean, contrasting it to Appleton, to contrasting it to Holloway, to how we're playing now. I mean, Holloway came in, and he just came in on a mandate of he's going to get us up. We're no longer, we're not little Blackpool. We're going to get in the Premier League. And I tell you what, I'm going to convince all these players, to take a £5 million bonus and go for that, and talk them out of getting playing bonuses. And they all went for it. And, people have mentioned it. Appleton's come in and he's straight away he's talking about, before the Sunderland game, we've got to remember who we are and who they are. And bullshit. That is not the way to go about it, is it?
I don't think we are little Blackpool.
I agree with you.
I think we're actually quite a big club.
Yeah.
With a very rich history. And I think we need to remember that. On that point, and I think this will be my closing point, I think people talk about who could we get in to replace him. I've thought about that long and hard, and I struggle to see anybody that we can get in. However, I did see somebody put a shout on the other day, which I think was actually a long shot, but very, very good. Of a combination of Charlie and Craney, because Charlie's doing well with the Burnley under-21, Craney's doing well with the development squad at the youth development team at Fleetwood. Right. I think they both know the club very well. Yeah, I think the relationship with the fans would be much better. They know what it takes to win. Yeah, they've had the the tactical masterclasses under Holloway. I think it would be a great start in management for them to come into a club like us. So I think that would be my shout. Somebody who knows the club.
What about Ian Evatt? Could we poach Evatt away, or would you want to come after we've turned him kind of down twice? But he is one that plays.
I think Evatt would be a good shout. I don't think he'd want to come though.
No.
I think he's so settled and so well at Burnley, at Bolton. Why would he risk his neck coming to a club which he could potentially fail at? I think for Charlie and Craney, it's of little risk. It's actually a benefit to them from where they are currently in their careers.
To develop, to take a challenge on. It's not a bad shout, actually. It's not a bad shout at all. I'm kind of obviously we'll go to the comments on that, see if anybody agrees with that. It's certainly one I've not thought of, but a combination of Charlie Adam and Craney. I mean, we love both of those, don't we? Let's be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, thanks.
All right, well, brilliant. Thanks for the call. I hope you enjoyed being on, and I hope you enjoyed listening to that and you agree with some of that. We'll go to the comments now for a little while, and we'll take another call in a few minutes. Thank you very much for calling in. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers, buddy.
Thank you. Bye. Yeah, so let's just go to the comments. What do you do to call in? Well, I can only take one call at a time, so I will put the number on, and it's just whoever gets through first. There's no point, if it's engaged, then I can only take one. I don't have operators standing by. Let's just... Oh, I think I've got a call coming in. Let's take this one. Hello, you're live through to me. Who is it?
Hello, my name's George Lee, big Blackpool fan.
Oh, hi, George. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Are you decently?
I'm not as good as I could be at the moment. I'm suffering. I'm suffering doing the vlogs. I'm suffering, trying to make good videos out of bad days. I'm sick of making videos that the away fans like, and it's just very frustrating at the moment. So what are your thoughts on it all at the moment?
But just as the previous caller said, I think the 40-year contract for Appleton was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Too long, and that's going to cost too much money if we even get them away.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's the full 4 years.
Yeah, somebody kind of mentioned this to me yesterday. Somebody commented that if we pay him off, we haven't got the money to buy players, so we've got ourselves in a mess, haven't we?
It's a lose-lose.
Yes, it is a lose-lose.
But I think there's a few decent players we can get in.
Right. Throw some at us.
This sounds like a rogue shout, Lee.
Yeah.
But you got to trust me. The YouTube chat has got to trust me as well.
Okay.
Liverpool, if they just signed Gakpo, it's freeing up a free spot. Firmino, he's there for the taking.
Well, yes, but how much? Well, we'd have to have him on some sort of deal where they paid 99% of his wages. I wonder what he's on there.
I think he's got the money now. We don't care about him. He's not been getting the playing time, and that's what we can give him at Blackpool. And I think he's just the right person for us.
Right. I'd love to see him. I mean? I'd love to see him, mate. Honestly, I really would. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? I'm sure
it's a bit of a rogue shout, but I've heard a lot of stuff about this Appleton pull, and I think it goes that far to Liverpool.
Really?
For me, no. Getting up top, he's not been doing the best for Liverpool when he has played, but if we get him at Blackpool, I'm sure he'll tear it up in the Championship.
It'd be bloody amazing here. He would be amazing, wouldn't he?
It would, and we need to sign some proper players instead of...
Yes! Exactly, I totally agree with you. Some proper, decent players. All these kids that we're getting in.
And when we played Sheffield United, we don't have, as a team, they're nothing special, but they've just got that, like an alien and that individual quality.
Yeah.
And I think Firmino's got that.
Yeah.
Josh Butler's not coming, is he? Let's be honest.
I don't think so. I think it's just a rumour that's been spreading, and I think, it's like a Chinese whisper, isn't it? It just keeps going on and on and on, and it's now nailed on, and it's a done deal and all that. I don't believe any of that. I don't believe he's coming back.
Yeah, he's not getting the playing time, but Forrest could recall him. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like I don't see him coming. It's probably the most beneficial for him and Forrest, but not going to happen, is it?
Do you think we need a centre half, an experienced one? Do you think that's the problem? Because we are really soft defensively, aren't we? Teams just score against us so easily.
Red cards as well. A lot of red cards. I feel like Marv needs someone next to him. Someone.
Yeah, telling him what to do. And
someone firm. And I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Jake Beasley's playing on the wing. Centre half.
Yeah.
May as well try it. Get him back with that Paqueta. Because he's playing on the wing. I think Jake Beasley would do a job in centre half. Let's reform him.
Right. So yeah, if I'm being honest, I want Jake Beasley up scoring goals. that would be the dream. I could actually see Marvin Paqueta as a centre forward because he scores more goals than anybody. Jane's been banging on about it for ages. Switch him to centre half if he's not, to centre forward if he's not performing as a centre half, right? Because he'd be great as a striker. He certainly knows how to get his head on balls and stuff, doesn't he? But
I think, though, in terms of managers, we've got Appleton right now. We don't like him.
No.
But I feel like I'm laughing because it feels ridiculous. But I honestly, maybe I didn't think this way. Gary Medine, player manager.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, he'd be a risk, though, wouldn't it? I mean, he's never managed anybody. Does he even want the manager's job? You know what I mean? But he's not too far away from sort of thinking that way in his career because he's taped together, isn't he? He can't go on forever.
Become the manager. I think Medine gets a bit too much stick. He can only do one thing, but he's very good at that one thing.
Yeah, he is. I like him.
Very good. He gets it, but there's one other thing. No one's ever there. No one is there. No one ever there. Medine gets it, passes it down, passes it back to the midfielder. Every single time.
Yeah, no, he's always knocking him down, and nobody seems to anticipate his knockdowns, and he does do it all the time. Was that a foul, by the way? Because we were going mental, the other night, where he seemed to just get a lovely ball, cushioned it down, and it looked like, I think it was Paveda picked it up, and he was away in the first half coming towards the south stand, and the referee blew up for some.
That referee was blown for everything.
Yeah, no, he really was. He really was
He was
whistle happy, but not card happy, fortunately.
Yeah. Did he even give a yellow card all game?
No, I think actually Jane was hinting that they probably brought him in for the simple reason that he wasn't a card-happy referee. And I was kind of pointing out, the bit where there was a bit of a fight, almost a fight, with their... on the in front of the West Stand, and their player was kicking off. He was kicking off with the linesman. He was, he was real trouble. And the referee just came out and talked it all down perfectly. And I thought that was all just as bad as, Dom Thompson at Sheffield United. And yet the referee there, it was 6-1, half a dozen of the other, really. Dom Thompson shoved into the boards, and the referee sent us off and really cost us the game. And, such a better referee in that respect, where he just talked him down, told him off, do it anymore, and he stopped it, didn't he? He stopped the whole thing, and there was no real trouble after that. And I think that referee at Sheffield United was abysmal.
Yeah. Instead of throwing out cards, it doesn't give him a good.
No,
clearly not.
It's a weak ref that can't deal with the situation, diffuse it.
It's been great talking to you, mate.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming on. Thank you very much.
Have a good New Year's Eve.
Yeah, you too have a great New Year. Thank you. Bye.
See you later, mate.
Oh, well, there we go. The phoning works. I don't know if anybody else has got the number. You can call in now. Andy Smith says, Keogh left a massive gap in defence. Big Marv has struggled without him. Yeah, he has. We need experience in there, don't we, Andy? Michael Plomer says, try swapping the back line with the forward line and see what happens, because where they are playing at the moment, they're never going to score goals. Bring back Holloway. That would be controversial. I don't know if that'd go down well. Gurney says, when Medine gets the manager gig, he'll be able to help Firmino with his shithousery. Alan Taylor says, to be fair, Holloway was backed by Bellicon. It was the perfect storm the first time around. Yes, it was indeed. Everything just came together well, doesn't it? Michael Hayes says, route 1 to Medine, we need to get back to basics by playing 4-4-2. Apps plays 4-3-3 tomorrow. Time for him to go. Do you agree with Michael? Is it the 4-3-3 doesn't suit us? I don't think it does either. Callum Cole says, beat Sunderland tomorrow. Don't know. What's your opinion on Williams? Says Cody Arkwright. I don't think he's good enough. I hope he goes back. I think Matt Scrafton didn't do him any favours, to be honest, by calling him out as a Preston North End fan before he'd even kicked a ball, which didn't really help him. But he's looked, dodgy, hasn't he, all the time. Michael Plowman says Appleton does not have to worry. I do not know how he got a 4-year contract in the first place. What was that? John Aslan says Adam and Craney players would need an interpreter. Very funny. Yes, maybe they would. My journey says no, don't bring players back as managers. Let's remember what they did as players, not what they may now not do as managers. Look forwards, not backwards. Okay. Steve Unofficial says if Charlie's a valid option, then surely Dobby is a better fit. On what, just because he's here? Would that be? I like Stephen Dobby, but I don't know how good a manager he is. Not enough experience managerial wise, says Scotty up the pool. I actually do think we need somebody that knows how to survive in this division. A bit like bringing Sam Allardyce in if you're in the Premier League, if you know what I mean. That kind of manager that knows his way around it and knows how to play these clubs in the Championship. Because that was the problem with Critchley. He didn't really know the Championship, and it was a learning curve. And we haven't got time for a manager to learn how to deal with the Championship. We need a manager who comes in and knows exactly how to deal with the Championship. Scotty says Ever won't leave Bolton. He's on the cusp of promotion. I don't think he will either. Michael Palmer says, we'll be going down and they need a manager that knows something about football, indeed, and knows the Championship really well. Would be great. I live in Australia and I follow Blackpool through all the ups and downs, and there have been some highs and there have been some lows. Indeed, there have. There's been a lot of lows in my journey with Blackpool, to be honest. I think the time between 2000 and 2010 was like just a glory time with LDV finals and promotions and all the rest of it. But the rest of it, the years before that, absolute just hell year on year, really, with very little joy. Scotty at the post says, January sell Reece James, Virtue, Stewart, Garbutt, bring back Thorm, Dale, Casey. Do you agree with Scotty on that? We do need to get rid of some of these players. We do need to get the loans need to go back. You know, Williams really for me should go back. You know, he's never going to be good enough, is he? Fiorini has been injured the whole time. Send him back. He might as well go back, hasn't he? Corbin, who hasn't really pulled up any trees, has he? He's injured. Send him back. Michael says, once the fans turn against the manager, it is only a matter of time before he's gone. You would feel that, but he's hanging in there, isn't he? Stephen Unofficial says, perhaps the injury issue is because Appleton is very old school. He has his favourites, and other players are trying to impress during training, pushing themselves too hard. That could be a factor, and that's something I'd not thought of. And Taylor says, regarding the injuries, we have quite a few people who are sick note happy. Do you agree with that? I kind of do as well. Scotty up the pool says it's pointless talking managers. He's not going anywhere. Simple as. Do you feel that's it? He's stuck in there and we're not going to get him out no matter how much we tell him he's getting sacked in the morning. Steve sometimes says, what about Johnson Clark Harris from Peterborough? Yeah, he looked all right. Right, I'm going to put the number up on screen once more. Just give me a sec. I'll just get to the bottom, just get through some of these comments because there's lots coming in. Yes, Chris Wilder. It's a funny one, isn't it? Because he did do very well at Sheffield United. He didn't do so well at Middlesbrough, and he had a sort of a record at Middlesbrough this year that would equal Appleton's. So was that just a club that didn't fit him? But yeah, it's not a bad shout. Alan Taylor doesn't think Dyche will be out of the question. He certainly would know. He certainly knows his way around the Championship. He would be really good. Plymouth manager, says Cheddar. Michael says we need a manager from outside the club. Right, okay. The number is going to come up on the screen. Let me just go back to that. I'll put it up for you. It'll only be on for a minute. And as I say, I can only take one call at a time. So if you get an engaged tone, you just have to wait until I've finished with that caller. Write the number down and ring in after we've finished with each. We're not going to have too long in each one, about 5 minutes on maximum on a call, and then we can get as many of you in as you can. So that's the number on screen now. If you want to call in, now is the time to do it. Yes, I agree with you, Eddie H. It isn't all the fans against Appleton. You know, a view from the tower is good, but it's not a barometer for everybody's opinions. But there is a bigger feeling now. Even I'm starting to think, oh my God, what we're doing with him. Right, the call coming in. Let's see who this is. Hello.
Hello.
Who is it?
Adam from Preston North End fan.
You're a Preston North End fan. Right, the knobber got on. Great. Any Blackpool fans, sensible Blackpool fans want to call in? He didn't have much to say, really, did he, when he came on? But pretty much. Scotty up the pool says, please give me one viable answer why any high caliber figure would come to us when we won't pay wages like the rest of the Championship. Well, it's not a case of we won't pay wages like the rest. We simply can't, can we? Right, okay, we've got Michael coming in. Hello, Michael. How are you?
I'm not so bad. I've been trying to contact you for it. I thought I must have upset you.
I'm a busy man. I'm a busy man, mate. I can't. I'm doing videos and all sorts of things. Well, I kind of know your thoughts, but tell everybody what you're thinking at the moment, Michael.
Well, it's in reference to it's a valid point. What I'm going to come across. The first question.
Yeah.
I'm going to put to you, Lee, is it's a job for the boys.
Yeah.
Now, what I mean by job for the boys is Liam Bridcut signed from, he played under him at Lincoln, as you know.
Yeah.
One of the biggest sick notes in football besides Darren Anderton at Tottenham and Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Now, it grieves me. You paid him £4,000 a week. And a year contract with an option of a year to go. £200,000 £400,000. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I didn't know he was on £4,000 a week. It's a lot of money to have somebody sat on a. I think I can hear you. I think I can hear me, Michael, on something. I'm hearing myself twice. So have you got me on?
Just hold on 1 minute.
Yeah. Just turn yourself.
Well, you can carry on now.
Yeah. Cheers, because I'm hearing myself twice. I can understand why he brought Bridcut in, because he knows him. He knows he's going to come. I don't know how many other options there were at that time out of contract that we could have brought in. I've no idea who they were looking at, who they were trying to get in, who was available. Maybe he was the best option. And from what we saw of him in the sort of, 2 or 3 games that he played, I thought he looked a really good player. But, like you say, he's just a sick note, and that's the kind of player, really, we want to avoid. And I don't understand why we did all the thing with the Accrington Stanley striker and, the medical and turn him down everything because of reasons. He's banging. He's signed for, did he go to Portsmouth? Portsmouth, I think he went to Portsmouth. And, he's been playing fine for them. So why we didn't sign him and we signed somebody like Bridcut, I don't get it, Michael. And maybe it is just Michael Appleton prefers to go for players that he knows will do a job. But maybe he was just blinkered and not, hoping upon hope that he wouldn't get injured. But sick notes are sick notes, aren't they, Michael? That's the problem. They're just perennial. Yeah, some players never get injured, do they?
It's just frustratingly, it's lunacy. It really is. I mean, my next point, which frustrates the living daylights out of me, and you and I have actually broached the conversation before in reference to the financial play. However, when you're a chairman or a new chairman of a football club and you've got the 5th best budget in League One, you certainly hold your breath by thinking you're going to be in the bottom 6 in the Championship as regards to budgets. However, the strategy that Sadler's used in reference to what he used with Critch, and his Apples has followed it through, is you're trying to survive on a League One players, basically. Yes, there are a few. There's only a couple, as you know. Yeah. Gabriel, maybe. You can pick the other player that I think is at Championship standard. The reason being for that is quite simple. Our wage budget for the week is £135,000. Over the season, it's £7 million, which is a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Blackpool Football Club eyes, in general, when it comes under the Financial Act.
Yeah.
However, the reason why we're not getting the players that we wish to get in is for the simple reason being it's down to finances, Lee. You know as well as I know, to become an established, Blackpool will only ever be a Norwich of the Premiership, a yo-yo team, even if they were going to survive, as an example. Because to establish yourself in the Championship takes 5, 6, 7 or 8 seasons to get established. Let's build from the foundation up and get the team established first by throwing more to it with an extra 4 or 5 quality players, rather than wasting £200,000 as an example on sick note Bridcut. Do you get where I'm coming from, Lee?
Yeah, I do get where you're coming from. There is a thing, there is a factor with throwing money at it, as you say, and yes, I agree. If he is on £4,000 a week, and people in the stream have already said £4,000 a week for 33, not a chance. There is a financial fair play act, there is there, and you can't just go throwing money into a football club without it coming from somewhere. And we're only getting, we're not even getting, how many were there last night? 8,000, would you say 8,000 Blackpool fans in the ground? I know they managed to get the Sheffield United fans in as well, but I don't think the income is enough to start spending millions. It's just one of those things where you're stuck between a rock and a hard place where you can't spend millions even if you wanted to. Have you thought about the financial fair play aspect?
I have, but it's financially viable for the club if you get 4 or 5 quality players of championship experience or season loans, as an example.
Buy yourself. This is the problem. You can buy players, and buy success and stuff, but you're not allowed to. They don't allow you to, which is why it's an unfair league, because you've got teams like Sheffield United. I mean, Sheffield United had one player on the pitch last night that was like £22 million.
I know.
You could buy you could buy the club, the training ground, everything, the whole squad for £22 million. They just bought one player, so we're not even on an even. It's so difficult. So I'll ask you this question then: we're more sort of financially level in League One. We're not a bottom of League One club. We're more a sort of a middle kind of, budget wise. Would it be?
We're in the top 5 if we go back into League One. But we're in a world of.
But would it be better to build from that base where we can get players in that, a bit cheaper than what? We've lost out, haven't we, on signings? To Sunderland tomorrow. We wanted Ellis Sims, didn't we? Apparently we pushed the boat out to get him. Sunderland just pipped us to him. I know he's going back now, and I'm glad he is, because he's not playing us tomorrow. But we just can't compete against. We wanted Dan Ballard.
No,
he went to Sunderland for $4.5 million. We were trying about $1 million and something. We're just not in the league with these teams. And Sunderland, who get 30, 40, 50,000 people watching them, and. We're just.
However, sorry for interrupting you. Another question. Yeah, which brings me into one of my final questions this afternoon, Lee. And it's been a pleasure to be on the show. I think it's been a great success, and you should do many more of them.
Yeah.
Is when you buy a football club, Lee.
Yes.
It costs a lot of money to run a football club. You
don't
just go in.
No.
A hell of a lot of money. The infrastructure, the training ground. Players.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I might get screamed at, but I'm not particularly bothered, to tell you the truth. So I'm extremely disillusioned at this present moment. So, unfortunately, as God go, I think we've got the wrong owner at the club.
Yeah, maybe not got the funds he needs, perhaps, to do it. But what annoys me is he will have done his due diligence. He will have done that. He'll have had time to do the due diligence. He knew the problems. If he is, as he claims he is, a lifelong Blackpool supporter,
you say that
he knew that all that needed doing, didn't he? He knew it.
But he thought he could be done with Gerrard getting Critchley, because it was Gerrard that got Critchley to the club.
Yeah.
And he thought, with his experience at Liverpool and Crewe, that he could unearth 4 or 5 diamonds. With the greatest respect, you're in a Championship club, League on a League One mentality, and it's like you said, the financial fair play. Blackpool are absolutely kippered.
Yeah, we are.
The league needs to, the football league needs to really assess the situation, because.
Well, they kind of punish you.
It's extremely difficult, to say the least.
They punish you, don't they, for not having the money, really. That's the problem. They don't want teams in these leagues that can't afford to be there. It's as simple as that. And they punish teams like us. And you need to be aware of that if you're taking over Blackpool, don't you? You need to somehow get the money in from, like City do somehow, on big sponsorship deals from somewhere, don't you? But you'd think Simon Sadler would know some wealthy men who could invest and put money in.
Well, it's I can remember Brett Geraghty saying to me, "We've got the dream owner. This is it. This is the real deal." We might have been a dream owner in the League One in the 5th best budget, but now we're suffering because of, over the years, too much frugality. Other chairmen and other football clubs have spent maybe a lot of money to get them up to Championship standard, but we're not Championship standard, period. No. End of story.
We could have had it all, Michael, if we just hadn't have had the Oysters taking all the money out.
Exactly. They're the root of all evil, the Oysters.
That was our chance. We know that, and that's why we bloody boycotted the whole thing. But anyway, thanks for calling in, Michael. It's been a pleasure. I know you're frustrated. We're all frustrated, and at the moment we're all fearing the drop, aren't we? That's the problem. We're all fearing going down, and I don't want to go down as much as anybody else wants to go down. I want to stay in the Championship.
All right, no problem. Much obliged, and all the very best for the new year to you and Jane. God bless.
See you, Michael. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that was Michael for you there. Do you agree with a lot of what Michael said there? Do we need to put money in? Can we put money in? Are we allowed to just inject money in to get players? Do you believe that Bridport is on £4,000 a week? Somebody said £4,000 at 33, not a prayer. Jake Tong is here, Stacey West podcast from Lincoln. Hi, Jake. What you were telling me about blooming Appleton, I don't know, but yeah, let's just answer this one. It's a private number, so God knows. Hello, you called in.
Hello, Lee. How are we?
I'm fine, thanks. Who are you? What's your name?
So I just want to talk about the centre back issue at Blackpool.
Yep. What's your name, by the way? So I know what's your first name?
Dario.
Hi, Dario. Okay. So yeah, the centre back problem. Yes.
Well. We got a big issue at centre back. I think. We have to sign someone in January. I think there's some top players out there, Lee. I think there's you got Sebi out. He's a top player. We could go after him. I just think we need a centre back. Yeah,
one we can afford. That's the problem.
Sebi out's affordable. It's affordable.
Sebi.
He's a top player for Bolton Town, and I think I play alongside him. He's a quality player. All the Blackpool fans would be dead happy to get him on board. Jane right back. I think it'd be a top signing.
I think you're right. Actually, I tell you what. Yeah, get Sebi in. Definitely, he really is a good centre half, isn't he? So, what position do you play for Bolton Town?
I play right back.
Right back, okay.
The Italian stallion, that's what they call it. I think it's say a lot. But you can put me over Dom Thompson. I tell you that for freely.
Well, I'll come and see you play soon. I'm quite looking forward to it. So
that is quality. Yeah. If you could get a vlog at Bolton Town, that would be magical, mate. It'd be magical.
Well, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll make it so. Thanks for calling in. Thank you. Great.
Lee Charles, thank you so much. Big up George Marsland and sign Sebi for Blackpool, mate.
Yeah, 100%.
Up this town, Lee. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Well, there we are. Yeah, I'd be pleased to know that. He's out skiing at the moment, is Sebi. Adrian Turner says, sadly, players are not as good as teams around us. Jake Tongue says, do we fancy Regan Poole? Tell us more, Jake. I don't know who Regan Poole is. Does anybody know who Regan Poole is? Is he... Big 101 says, I can't imagine being from Blackpool. What a dismal and depressing existence it must be. So you've obviously never had a good holiday here or enjoyed all the wonderful things that go on all the time in Blackpool. It's a great place to live. I love it. I lived here all my life. Love it. Michael Plowman, I just watched the Blackpool ladies versus Bolton Wanderers ladies at Bloomfield Road, and they look good, winning 8-0. Maybe the lot should be made to watch them and learn how to score goals. When was that? I missed that. What a great result for the Blackpool ladies. I did a video on them, by the way. There is a video on the Blackpool ladies. They did look like they were a really good side. Oh. He's a skipper of Lincoln. He's a cracking centre-back. We've been linked with him, have we? Well, you wouldn't want to see him go, would you? What, are you trying to get rid of him? I don't want to disappoint you, Jake, if we take your captain off you. Gary Cronshaw says, Michael Appleton out, sacked in the morning. I don't think it's going to happen. James Wright says, it is realistically going to be mainly loan deals. I do get that feeling, but I really don't want it to be mainly loan deals, to be honest. I just want them to sign some quality. True Red says, Blackpool is a mid-table to top 10 championship club, shouldn't be fighting relegation. The squad has quality to compete. We did last year, but something's just not right. Then we lost Bowler to Forest. Yes, I agree with you there, Alan. Yes, I would have thought that fighting for promotion and getting into the Premier League would speed up all the infrastructure plans. Yes, indeed it would. But it's not. It's proving to be not that easy, and I don't think they set themselves up right in the summer. I don't think they did enough to make sure that players came in the summer. I think that's been the problem. Happy New Year from Alex Ali. Hello, Alex. Scotty up the pool says, I think League One might do as well financially, just because we don't have to pay as much, maybe. Is that what he's... I mean, we're going to lose 5 million straight off the top, aren't we, from the TV money. He's going to lose sponsorship deals. He's going to lose box sales. He's going to lose sponsors lounge sales. Dario says, I've seen Medine out by the cube already tonight. Can't see him starting tomorrow. He seems to be out of the cube all the time. I don't like the sound of it, really. I show speed says, I see League One round the corner. Well, it's looking that way at the moment, isn't it? We're second off the bottom, but you just got to hope that things can... Jake Ton says, we're going to enjoy Rodgers. Trust me, are we? I hope so. I hope you're right. You've not been... too right about Appleton so far, Jake. I've got to be honest. Although somebody's saying that he's always injured. Oh no. Jake Tongue says, curious as to how Fiorini's getting off for you guys. Well, he's been injured all the time, Jake, so we don't know. There's another sick note. Craig Bean says we need a really, really, really strong January transfer window. Every single edition absolutely has to impact the first 11 with no margin for error. I totally agree with you. It's got to be spot on, hasn't it? Right, let's go to the latest comments. Oh, he's got 6 months left on his deal. Don't think he'll sign another. So 500 grand now would be absolutely lovely. Make it so, Simon Sadler. Okay, he says big 101 is from Grimsby. Well, Grimsby explains it all, right? Okay. True Red says Simon Sadler is a Blackpool fan. To me, he should have a plan in place already for the club to drive the club forward, having funds available, appointed the right people. Seems to have lost his way. Yes, well, I've said that before. He will have known that the training ground, has been a big issue. He will have known that the East Stand has to be done because it's got a limited shelf life on its safety certificate. He knows all that's got to be done, and he knows he also has to invest in the team and. You have to do all of it. You can't just do one or the other, or, I'll do this and not concentrate on that. You've got to concentrate on all of that. All the money should have been in place to get this, the stands done and the training ground done, and that should have been totally separate to looking after the football side of things, which is the most important. Nottingham Forest have 500 players. Who do you want? Some good uns, that's what we want. We need a really good striker. We need a great midfielder. We need a superb centre-half. And for me, actually, we could do with probably a goalkeeper as well. Maybe the whole spine of the team. Jake Tong says, and he's a Lincoln fan who was really loved at Michael Appleton at Lincoln, says, from an outside perspective, it looked like Appleton walked into a hiding to nothing. Fans didn't want him, wasn't backed in the window, not exactly helped as a... yeah, exactly. He's had no chance, really, from the get-go. But, that's the trouble. He was never going to be liked by the fans. He really wasn't. He'd already left us, He spent 10 weeks here or whatever, didn't he? And... left to go to the Venkies and, didn't hang around. And, people don't forgive you for that sort of stuff, even if it was because of the Oysons. Ronnie Hot Dogs. Hello, Ronnie. Love the name. Says, why does Appleton persist with playing strikers on the wing for far too many players out of position? I actually think if we actually had all the players available, I don't think he'd be playing strikers on the wing, if I'm being honest. I think he's just trying to just shoehorn whatever he's got into position to try and fumble a team together, which is why this January window is so important. We have to get some players in. Simon Sadler, if you're watching this, if you don't get players in, then, what? Why are you even owning the club? You must see the misery all around you. You must see the seats going, nobody, thousands not going to the games. It's all going pear-shaped, Simon, and you need to do something magical. We need a miracle, if I'm being honest. Has he tried Fiorini on the wing? He can't try Fiorini because he is injured and has been injured since he played really, really well at QPR. And, you know, we bossed that first half at QPR. And then both him and Patino got injured and he's never come back since, really. And that affected us as well, you know, the injuries there when we're playing really, really well. Stephen Wood said, Appleton must go down. I don't want to go down. Oh, Webby W is just... But I can't see what you're saying. This thing doesn't show up. That was to say Appleton out. We hear you. We hear you, Webby W. Appleton out on that is what Webby is saying. Alan Saylor says, I think taking the positives into account that we're a mixing pot at present, lots of ingredients, etc. We all remember Alex Ferguson in 1986. He was on his list, on his last warning. I think this can turn. I hope you're right, Alan. Right, I'm just going to put it up again on screen. The phone number, if you want to call in. If you want to call in, the number is there. If you've got anything to say, if you've got anything, you know, controversial to say, or anything you've heard along the grapevine that we haven't heard, anything like that, you know, maybe somebody that you watch another club and you've got an idea of a player that would really fit us, that should be advising the scouts to look at. I mean, we have changed the scouts, haven't we? We've got these two guys in from Coventry. Is that a step in the right direction? Does that tell you that we are, you know, actively looking to bring players in the January transfer? Something for me we definitely need. Oh, yeah, no, I totally agree with you, Jake. He is a cracking player. We really like the look of him, and he's just got this injury, and he was coming back, and then he got injured again. Right, it's call coming in. Let's see who this is. Hello?
Hi, Lee, you all right?
I'm all right. What's your name?
It's Alan Taylor. I've actually mentioned a few bits on your
hello, Alan. Yes,
singing tonight.
I've seen you. I've seen you talking in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, there's somebody else. Sorry, I'm just getting a call coming in, but whoever's ringing now, I can't answer it because you'll be getting engaged. So just call back after Alan has finished. Right, Alan, fire away.
Yeah, no, just I agree with some of the people. My only point really with this, perhaps I'm being naive, I don't know. I've been a Blackpool fan now for lots of years. I'm not actually from Blackpool, big surprise.
Right, okay. Where are you from?
I'm actually a lot nearer to Burnley.
Oh, right, okay.
But I've been going on for years with the family, family members and things like that. But I think it's not really a gripe as such. I don't understand where the hate for Michael Appleton has come in.
I think
initially.
Well, I mean, he came, didn't he? And he came on a blaze of glory. The answer to losing Holloway. It didn't sit right with him with the Oystons. I get that, but that was really not muted at the time. It was just, he stayed for 10 weeks. The football wasn't great. He just seemed to bail and go to the Venkies, which seemed madness to me because I didn't think they were much better than the Oystons, if I'm being honest. They were like a car crash at the time, weren't they? They were, they've kind of got their heads around it a bit now, the Venkies, but, they were these people that took over a Premier League club and didn't think they could ever fall out of the Premier League and just found it incredibly hard. And I just thought, why has he gone there? And I think most of the fans just remember that he just didn't stick with us, and a lot of people saying, never get somebody back who's been here before. We'd had Grayson back, hadn't we? And that had failed.
Yeah.
And so I think there was just this, and then there was all the stuff about him having a tattoo on his calf with P&E on, which I don't think there is, but there was that P&E connection with him as well, wasn't there? And it just wasn't popular. But a lot of people, did say, I don't want him in, he's not for me, but I'm prepared to give him a chance, and let him prove whatever. And even I said at the start in the summer that I did believe that, Critch's team could be improved upon with a good coach. Somebody with experience in Championship should be able to do better than Critch, because Critch was a bit naive at times. He didn't really know the Championship and he was learning on the job, wasn't he? And so I believe that he would be good, and was second off the bottom at Christmas, and he's not going to be popular, even though we all know that it's not entirely, his fault.
I think that's my point, Lee. Yeah. in love with the man myself. Don't get me wrong, and I don't want to be triggering other Seasiders, but it's more of a case of I think he's really in a rock and a hard place at the moment. I think they brought him in because of the youth aspect, apparently because he's got connections with youth players. It seems this Morgan Rogers now, I don't know if it's a shoe or bet or what have you, but again, it's one player trying to turn everything. If the press is to be believed, we're linked with everybody. That lad who's been texting in and everything as well, for the Nottingham Forest lad.
Yeah.
We're not in a position naturally to buy 20 new players.
No.
I think everybody knows that. But
certainly not 22 quality players for money.
Absolutely. I believe perhaps more range in attack. I think it's attacking midfielders we're probably short of.
Totally.
If I had to name it to one thing.
We are weak in midfield, and I don't think Patino is strong enough without, an experienced midfielder with him. I think he needs that experienced guy with him. Somebody's saying...
Me, wife.
We've just missed out on a 21-year-old from New Zealand, apparently, to Plymouth, says Michael Haig. So Ronnie Hot Dogs answered your question, actually, saying that the hate for Appleton is because he seems tactically inept. Hamilton and Poveda are only fit wingers, neither of them starting on the wing in a 4-3-3, which he keeps playing. I must admit, I don't think this 4-3-3 suits us, the way... I don't think it's the best way to set up.
Well, I mean, it was the same the other week when he took Poveda off, and he was, I think it was against Cardiff, I believe. And everyone,
he put them on.
With Thornley and everything. Yeah.
He put them on at Cardiff, and we looked better with him and CJ, didn't we, at Cardiff? Yeah,
I understand. It would have been the week after then, sorry.
Yeah, he had to take him off because we went down to 10 men against Hull. He had to drag him off then, didn't he? But it was a shame.
He was our only attacking threat, wasn't he, at the time?
Yeah, I mean, Jane Figate, said I forgive him for taking one for the team. But I thought, personally, we had 11 men on the pitch. If they had scored and he had gone through and scored, it was 1-1, but we'd have had 11 men on the pitch. We ended up 1-1 with 10 men on the pitch, didn't we? And I think we'd have won that game with 11 on. I really do. I think we'd have won it. And of course, we didn't have Thornley for Sheffield United, did we? So we're playing a makeshift back bloody four, aren't we? And that's why they punish us. And
absolutely, I'll go with what I've sent in. Though I think the ingredients are there, and I do honestly believe it can turn.
Yeah,
it can turn. Right. Maybe the odd quality signing. I'm not a big fan of loanee players myself because I don't think they're going to come and put the shift in that someone who we buy in will.
They don't.
But I just think just keep the faith. I think it can. I think one win could bounce into 2, bounce into 3, bounce into 4.
Yes.
But time's ticking on, and I think this is where all the fans' frustrations are coming in. It's a case of, look, are we going to leave it too late for a final rush trying to get out of relegation? Yeah. I'm as frustrated as everybody else. I can completely get it, but I also know there's been so much change at Blackpool in the last 3 years alone. It's been mind-boggling. For the 30-odd years before then, it was all just run for obviously one family, and that was that. You know? So I'm trying to take a positive from it, Lee. That's all.
Well, thanks for taking a positive, and thanks for giving us hope. Thank you, Alan. I know people are trying to ring in. I keep hearing the calls coming in. So thanks a lot. We'll take some more now. If you
all the best.
Same to you. Have a great New Year.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Right, okay, I know people are trying to phone in. I say I can only take one at a time. I don't have operators standing by. So for those that have been trying to get through, if you want to try again, now is your chance. Daniel McLaughlin said we need to buy more talented players like Emil Reese from Preston. Don't think that's going to happen. Ronnie Hot Dog says midfield was too light last couple of games as well. Dougal deserves to be starting. Yes, he is. Right, I've got a call coming in. Hello, you're on the show. What's your name? Oh, it's gone. Right, okay. Didn't want to talk to me. Ivan Toney. Look at Appleton's record as a manager, says Daz BFC 1. Right, somebody trying again. Hello, you through to the show. What's your name?
Yeah.
Hello. Right, okay. It doesn't want to talk to us. Right. Jake Ton says Callum Wright is a top creative midfielder, as is Fiorini when fit. You've got two very good options there. We don't play him right. Somebody else calling in. Let's see if we get a sensible one this time. Hello, what's your name?
Hiya, Lee. It's Steve.
Hiya, Steve. All right.
Yeah. Sorry, my youngsters made me speak to you. I didn't want to speak to you.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
Chuckling.
All right. Okay. I just thought, I've got to be careful of the crank calls coming in, so I just wasn't sure.
No, it's not a crank call. I was going to ask you if you've been involved in an accident recently that isn't your fault, but never mind.
No, I haven't. Thank you very much.
No. Yeah, I think we're of the same opinion. To be perfectly honest, I think Appleton was never the right man for the job. I think he took the job because he would say yes to anything because he's lost his job. Yeah.
He got a free upgrade, didn't he? He got a free upgrade to the Championship when he wasn't good enough to get in it.
Yeah, and he said yes to everything, but he's not done everything the way that everybody else has done things. I don't think he's buying into the way the club operates. And I don't think he takes advice. I don't think he listens. I think he's stubborn. Right. It's his way and that's it.
Yeah.
And I really honestly think that it was never ever going to work. And I think he's got to go. I think he's got to go before it's too late.
Right.
And I don't really think that it matters who comes in.
It just doesn't matter. Anyone will do other than Appleton. Yeah. Well, anybody can do a better job. He's not passionate, is he? He's not passionate on the touchline.
He's not passionate. He's not. The atmosphere in the ground's dying a death.
God, yeah, I totally agree.
It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant to go. It's a chore to go.
It is
at the moment. We don't think there's anything. There's no positivity there at all.
No.
And we are. But when you think about it, we've had patches in games where we've looked good.
Yeah, of course we have. Yeah, we've looked great.
We look good. So the players the players are there. The players are capable. Mm-hmm. The players want to win. They've got motivation to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's picking the wrong formation every game.
Is that because he hasn't got any other choices, or would you shuffle it?
Favourites. It's because he's got his favourites. Because he doesn't like other people sticking their nose in, having opinions.
Right.
That's the way I think of it.
What would you have done differently than what he did against Hull?
Against Hull, half time. Yeah. You've got your left back struggling. Yeah, but your centre halves have been playing well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't take off. So you don't bring on a non-match fit
centre half
and move the centre half to fullback. You bring on when you've got another fullback on the bench.
Yeah. That was a strange move, wasn't it? Really, but
it just doesn't make sense.
But the weird thing was he was Thornley. Before he got the concussion. Was arguably, and in most fans' opinions at that time, our best centre half. He was playing better than Mark.
Agreed, but the pairing at centre half was working at Hull, and they weren't under pressure.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, they weren't under pressure.
Nobody has an issue with Husband at centre half.
No, he does a good job, doesn't he?
Nobody has an issue with him. It's not like he's a stand-in.
No.
Not as capable.
His experience as well, isn't he? I think. Yeah. I think a lot of being a centre half, and I think we saw that with Keogh, where he didn't have a lot of pace, did he? Keogh, he was like a cart horse, but he was bloody everywhere, wasn't he? Because he just knew where to be.
Husband is pretty much the same. He's lost, and a lot of that he loses when he goes out in fullback.
Yeah,
he's probably more effective at centre half than he is at fullback.
Yeah,
but you've got to look at the other thing today is that. We all know full well that Maxwell is going to be back in the starting lineup as soon as he's fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I thought the whole policy of this club was to buy potential good players, give them a chance, put them in the shop window, and sell them on. Yeah, Grimshaw is your perfect example of that. He's 23?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
you give him a good season in there, and you got a few million quid for him.
He worries me though, Grimshaw. I'm not of this. Unfortunately. I went to Reading away last season, and the first two goals were completely down to Grimshaw just doing stupid things. And I know he is learning.
Ever going to learn. With the goalkeeper, you've got to persist with him. You've got to give him a chance.
I didn't think he had a great game, Grimshaw, the other night, and I didn't think his positioning was good for their second goal. I don't think he did the right thing. I think Maxwell would have.
But he's slightly rusty, and look how rusty Maxwell was when he came
Well, that's the trouble. They've got to bed in, haven't they? And Yeah, I mean, they're neither. I actually like Stuart Moore. Every time I've seen him come on, I think he looks a great keeper. He's done nothing wrong.
Except that Stuart Moore spent his whole career as a number 3.
Yeah, exactly. But I'd love to see him actually just given a chance, just to see whether he is good enough or not.
But the whole thing. But there are lots of things. The club were prepared to spend money last September.
Yeah.
They matched Sunderland's offer for Sims.
Yeah.
They had the money on the table for Brannigan. They brought in Moffat from Celtic, who's highly rated and disappears into the reserves, never to be seen again. And he's a winger.
Why?
They bring in this, England under-18 international from Brighton. We don't hear from him.
Yeah, who was that?
Petit, Zach Emerson.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. I think he was down at the tennis.
Patino can come in the team at 17 with no match experience and no league experience, and it's okay because Arsenal say he's good enough.
Yeah, what do you think about Patino?
We put other players on. Patino is skillful, but he's too one-paced, isn't he?
He's a bit lightweight, if I'm being honest, and I think
he hasn't got the pace.
I think these teams that come to Bloomfield Road and they look at our midfield, they're midfielders, experienced guys, Sheffield United, they've got some class, experience, Championship, Premier League players playing in the middle of the pitch, and they come up against Blackpool and they see Sonny Carey, and they'll know that he's signed from Kings Lynn or whatever. They see Charlie Patino, who they'll know is an Arsenal under 21 or whatever, and they'll just, I'm sure they'll come on the pitch and think, we've got these lads. These are easy. We'll just bully these kids around. You know what I mean?
But it's exactly the same point of view. You sign Moffat from Celtic, who's a winger, who's 22, 23, been playing in Celtic reserves or whatever, and he's not good enough for the first team. Yet Sonny Carey comes in from Kings Lynn with no league experience, and he's considered the first team regular.
Yeah, I actually think he's got potential, but I think both of those lads, these young kids, they have to have with them somebody with experience. And
say we haven't signed one. Rob Apter coming off the bench for the last 20 minutes might be an option for us, but instead he's playing at Scunthorpe.
Exactly, yeah. Another lad on loan.
None of it makes sense.
No, none of it does.
There has been money available for Appleton, but why did Brannigan change his mind? Why did Sims pick Sunderland? Why didn't other players turn up? Is it because Appleton has a reputation? Is it because he's not got a reputation for playing attacking football?
Maybe. Well, there could be a factor.
Critchley, when we had Critchley, let's be honest, we never ripped anybody apart.
No, we didn't. No, I totally
we didn't
agree.
tear anybody apart. We were consistent. We were a bit boring. We were predictable.
Steady
Eddie. Results out.
Steady Eddie, weren't we? Yeah.
But for some reason, he had a reputation of being an exciting manager,
a master
and we had this reputation.
Yeah,
and that attracted players to the club. The reputation of and the future and what was going to happen.
Yeah,
and building on this thing.
Yeah,
and
he was
out the window with Appleton.
He was known, wasn't he, as a guy that could bring youngsters on. So clubs were really keen to send the boys to him to bring them on.
And I honestly think now that that the players are capable. We're picking the wrong formation.
Yeah,
we're picking the wrong starting lineup, and the substitutions are shocking. So at least a clean pair of eyes, looking at the same squad that we've got now, couldn't do any worse.
Yeah.
And if the clean pair of eyes comes in and consults with the players, and sees what do they want to do, there's no reason why we can't do a little bit better than we're doing now. We don't have to do much better than we are doing now. We only have to do a little bit better than we are doing now.
Yeah,
and we'll get out of the mess.
Yeah, we're not far off, are we? I mean, we gave Sheffield United a game, didn't we?
Yeah, we did it with Ferguson, didn't we?
Yeah, we
Barry
did.
Ferguson.
Yeah, we did.
He did all right for that last half of the season.
He did. He kept us up somehow, didn't he?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, good shout. Appleton out. Anybody in?
Yeah. Anybody in? Absolutely anybody. There's got to be something. There's got to be something to bring the crowd back, to give people a bit of belief. At the moment, it's rinse, repeat, and nobody thinks that anything's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I totally agree.
Anyway,
thanks for the call.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my son for throwing his mobile phone at me and me using up all his credit.
Okay. Serves him right. But anyway, sensible call. Thanks a lot. Thanks for calling.
We'll see you in front of tea tomorrow night.
Have a great New Year. Bye. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks. Right, let's go back to the comments because there's been quite a few coming in while that call was on. Dan's BFC, this guy speaks sense. I drive 182 miles to watch us at home. It's becoming less appealing as the weeks have gone by. Indeed it has, even for us. We're struggling to go at the moment. We don't want to go. You are actually dragging yourself to the games, aren't you? You're not looking forward to it. You're knowing you're going to get beat. Our home form is just unbelievable. You need to be good at home and you need to win in front of your home fans, and it's painful. Sam Thompson says Sadler has upped the ticket prices in a cost of living crisis and we're paying the same as other championship clubs that actually invest in the team. Yes, I know. It is. Season ticket pricing is too much. It's for Blackpool, it's too much. It's way too much. It's a bugbear of mine. Michael, enjoyed listening to the debate. Got to leave shortly. Thank you for reading out my comments. You're welcome. True Rest says 4-3-3 leaves you too exposed in midfield, which is putting the pressure on the defence all the time. Yes, I wish we'd just sack it off, to be honest. It's not working. It isn't working. Sam Thompson says 4-3-3 didn't work under Critch. We changed it and started winning. Yes, we did, Sam. Michael Higgs says, I sincerely hope you are listening, Simon Sadler. Adrian Turner says Apple Cart needs to acknowledge the people who pay his wages. Right, okay, I think that's everybody, unless let me know in the comments if you would like to call in. If not, I think we'll call it a wrap there. We're coming up almost to full time on match day. What's the time now? Yes, it's 4:45. A couple of minutes left of the match and then maybe a little bit of extra time. We've been on for an hour and 45 minutes. Stephen, unofficial, says thanks for having me on. You're absolutely welcome, Steve. Alan Taylor says we need either a Medine or an Ekpateta type in the centre of the pitch, if that makes sense. Before we go, how do you think we're going to go on tomorrow? Sunderland, it's going to be a tough game. They're on form. They've had to send Ellis Sims back, which is a relief, but they've still got players that can hurt us, and they are, they are coming bang into form. Can we upset the bookies' favourites? They probably are bookies' favourites. Can we upset the form table? You're welcome, Gurney. Thanks a lot. Thanks to all those that called in. It's been a success. If you're watching this video on the restream and you kind of like the format of having people phone in and telling Jane what she can do with aero bars, hopefully we won't get many more of those. But if you like this sort of thing, we could do more of these phone-ins. Now I've got the technology to do it. Do you like that rather than bringing like video guests in, which has all its problems as well? So let me know if you like this format. We're going to lose 2-0 tomorrow, says Steve Unofficial. Could be right. Hope you're wrong. Did we get anything on Facebook? Oh, yeah. Okay. Zach Robin. Oh, we've got a few here on Facebook. Zach Robbins says, Gloucestershire Seaside here must invest a few in the window. Another that doesn't like 4-3-3. What's people's thoughts on Medina's alone? Striker on his own. Man, I don't know. What do people think of that? Phil Thompson says, thanks very interesting. Thank you. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. Phil Thompson says, we're only 11 points off the playoffs in a crazy league. 2 or 3 wins. We're looking up. Go back less than 2 weeks against Birmingham with 3 points off the playoffs. Now they're just above us. It is a daft league, but the trouble is that gap widens. If you don't close that gap, it widens as the season goes on. It starts off very close at the start where everybody's on the same points. There's, some are 3 points in front, and then it all sort of gets together. And then as the season drags out, you can get really stuck down there. Jamie Alex William Garner says, I need a change at the club, and that is the manager. Appleton out. Paul Lupton. Let's get back to Paul. Right. Paul Upton says, if we don't bin Appleton, the residual damage of relegation, etc., will put us back at least 5 years. We have to hang on in this league this season. I agree with you. Paul posted a message on Facebook too early. Answers were, we need a win, and 2, we need a new manager, Dyche or Dean Smith. Well, I think it's a lot of feel. Can we afford to get rid of Appleton on a 4-year deal? Can we afford to get rid of him, Paul? Phil Thompson says we need championship players, not League One cast-offs. We do need players that can blooming do it at this level, don't we? Paul Barrow says Ellis Sims recalled by Everton, obviously coming back to Blackpool. Then I realised I was having a dream. David Moy on Facebook says Stephen Gerrard, no chance at all. He needs to rebuild his reputation and not struggle at a club where underfunding has been the way since the 1970s. I see what you're saying there, David. Luke James Gillett says, prior to Appleton's appointment, I heard fans from different teams saying he's a good coach but not a great manager, and I think those opinions are spot on. Has anyone else been wondering why Hamilton has not been starting? In my opinion, his pace can make a real difference for us, especially whilst we just don't seem likely to score. Well, we looked a lot better with Hamilton on at Cardiff, didn't we? I don't understand why he's not got back in since then, because he was terrorising that right back in. You know, they were terrified of him. He did look dangerous. He looked a winger that would go at you with pace, would try and take you on. You know, we don't have, Lavery doesn't take players on. He's not a winger. He can't take the ball on. He can't attack players. He's all legs all over the place. Lavery needs to be in the middle scoring goals. He's not a winger. And CJ Hamilton is. And I don't understand why we're not playing him either. Stephen Smith says, I don't believe Appleton is a terrible manager, but he's the wrong manager for us. Blackpool fans demand a passionate and exciting manager. It was a critical error to take him in the first place. As for Simon Sadler, let's put things into perspective. We have promises of a training ground, a new stand, but yet the spending levels of the squad are not exceeding Oyston levels. It's starting to seem a bit suspicious to me. Stephen Halliday, I'm hearing Sims has been recalled back to Everton, which must be good news for us, but it's still going to be a hard game as they've still done well without him. Yes, they've got some good players. We did okay at Sunderland, to be honest. We bossed that second half, but they are on form. We're not. Can we upset the form table, which I've hinted at just briefly? Stephen Trainer wants Holloway back. That would be as probably fan splitting as Appleton. I still love Holloway, but he's fell out with obviously most fans because of what he said about Carl, so I don't know about that one. Michael Stewart Hay says there's too many problems with the training ground and many issues regarding the deal being signed off. Trust me, I can believe that. Trying to get things through planning, trying to buy land that affects farmers and things. Everybody's wanting a quick buck, and I imagine it is difficult. Michael Stewart Hicks said, I noticed the stadium was half full by half time against the Blaze and fans walking out at half time. I think it did go down at half time. Probably many did. Any more on Facebook before I go back to YouTube? Phil Thompson actually rates CJ more than Bowler. He is a team player. Yes, he is. I like CJ Hamilton. I always have. I think he's a good player. I think he's a dangerous player. I think he's somebody that should start. Simple as that. Right. True Red say Stevie G was backed heavily at Aston Villa in the transfer window. It just didn't work out. The King says we need a couple of units. Michael Haig said, it's a fantastic setup. In Lee Charles TV, we trust you should do phone in after the match for fans' opinions. We'll go down a treat and create more subscribers. Would you like that? Would you like a phone in straight after the match, to the sacrifice, obviously, of me getting the match day video out by 6 o'clock in the morning? I might only get it on by 10 o'clock in the morning. So do you want the phone in? Would you like a phone in after the game? I can certainly do it, if obviously on home games, but not on away games because we're on the road. Ronnie Hotsog says, I don't think Medine would work as a lone striker. Yates maybe, but Medine is best when he has someone close to him to flick it on. Yes, if only they would read what he was going to do and get those flick-ons. True Red says, just hope Huddersfield keep losing because I can't stand them now after last season. Blackpool, please get out of this situation just for my uncle's sake. Let's hope we do. Huddersfield are starting to just come together, aren't they? Which, out of these bottom clubs, I've looked at them and there's so many that I can see finishing above us. We just really need to get winning quickly. All right, we are in trouble. Ronnie Hot Dogs is going for 1-1 tomorrow. South Shore Cedar says, cheers, Lee. Great show. Luke Waddington says, Lee Charles, the greatest of all time. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Right, I think that's your lot. Gary Cronshaw, thanks, Lee Charles and Jane. See you tomorrow. Thanks, Gary. Denny says, yes, a phone in after the match, please. Well, yes, okay, maybe. Well, now we can do it. We can do it. We couldn't do it before. Now we can. Yeah, I should get a sponsor for the headphones. Anybody out there want to sponsor these headphones? That would be great. Or, product placement. We can do a Pepsi cup for if Pepsi are listening. Right, I'm going to get off. Thank you very much for sticking with us for an hour, nearly 2 hours. My mate Cody hates Appleton and wants him out immediately. So do you think he's going in January or staying? And if he's staying, do you think he can improve the team during the transfer window? I think that's what we've been talking about the whole show, have we? I don't think he's going to go. I don't think they're going to pot him. I think they're going to try and get some players in. I hope we do. If we don't, we are screwed, in my opinion. We are going down. If we don't invest in January, we're going down. Trust me, we're no chance. Whether Bowler will come back, who knows? It's rumoured he will. Will he or won't he? We shall find out soon. Lee Blakeborough on. Sorry, Lee, not been on for ages. Seem to have lost touch. Well, I'm always here. I don't go anywhere too far away. You can always find me on Lee Charles TV. Do you or anyone know what channel the match is on tomorrow? I'm a bit annoyed that once again Tangerine TV is not on again. Well, Tangerine TV is... They can't play Saturdays. Maybe they can't do Sundays as well. I have no idea. Can't help you. Maybe post on Facebook. Somebody might be able to help you there. By the way, we are now on TikTok. So, pop in and lock in and doing all the boogie dancing or just showing videos. If you want to follow us on TikTok, it is at Lee Charles TV on TikTok. On Facebook, if you follow my Facebook, I've put a little QR code. You can press that QR code and follow us on TikTok. I'm going to be doing some short form videos on there. Try and build the TikTok up. People keep telling me it's a way of getting all the subscribers and seeing as Instagram are being mean and won't give me my Instagram account back because we were hacked and some git spammed everybody. I can't get Instagram back, so I've got to do something different. And Twitter seems to be getting a bit of a pounding at the moment. People don't seem to like Twitter so much, so I'm not sure if it's the best. Oh, it's you that's lost. Yes, it's you that's lost touch. Yeah, no worries. Okay, well, if you ever want, I'm on. You know where I am: Twitter, Facebook, and now TikTok. Right, thanks a lot for watching. I'm going to get off. Have a great new year. If you're going out, have a great night out. Don't get too drunk for tomorrow. We've got Sunderland. We're not facing Ellis Sims. That's great. It's going to be hard. Can we win on New Year's Day? Something that I can't actually remember that as ever doing. Deacon Beaver says I should do fan cams after the games. Maybe that's a technology at the moment that I'm not sure I can. I can't seem to get the audio to go with the video if I get guests in because I got this Rodecaster Pro and it doesn't seem to feed the audio back in, and it's been a headache I've been trying to work out for weeks. So maybe at the moment that's not a possibility, but definitely a phone in is okay. Lee Blake says I will look out for you at Watford. Okay, all right, see you at Watford. We'll be going there. We'll be going on the coach again to Watford. So if you're going on the Beezer coach, Jane and I will be on that. As I say, have a great new year. Thanks for watching. Come on the pool. For God's sake, sort it out, Sadler, and for God's sake, don't let us go down. It will be the worst thing. I will have somewhere Right, yeah. So I'll say goodbye. Go and have my tea. Thank you very much. It's been really good. I've enjoyed it. So hopefully more of these.